Hello my dear friends, a very warm welcome to all of you. Today we are going to discuss the JEE Mains paper which was held on 6th September 2020 morning shift. Here I am going to discuss the chemistry part of the paper. Okay, so let us take the first question guys. So let us solve the first question. The increasing order of pKb values of the following compound is, okay, so these are the compounds which are given, okay, and these are your options. So what we'll look at is, we'll first try to find out which is the most basic. We'll first try to find out which is the most basic. The reason for that is, if I'm able to calculate or if I'm able to find out the most basic one, then I can easily predict the pKb value, because basic character is inversely proportional to what? Basic character is inversely proportional to the pKb value, right? So let us find out the most basic out of all. So the most basic out of all is, let's see. So the first one is a tertiary amine with a OCH3 group at the para position. So OCH3 group will have a plus M effect. So if it has a plus M effect, it will increase the electron density on nitrogen. So, and what will happen? This nitrogen will become most basic. Okay. Let us look at the other option. Anyone else which is more basic than this compound? Let's see. So there's a OH, but it is at para position. CN is at meta position. This is a tertiary amine, but there is no group which is pushing the electron density on nitrogen. So the most basic amine over here is the first one. Okay. If this amine is most basic, then the pKb value of this amine will be what? Will be the least. Okay. So we have got the option as 1 or 2 guys. So these two options are out of question guys. Okay. So now we have to look at what? We have to decide between 3 and 4. We have to decide between 3 and 4. So out of 3 and 4, what do you think is more basic? Let's see. CN has a very strong minus I effect. CN has a very strong minus I effect, and minus I effect of OH is less than that of CN, Therefore, 3 is less basic. 3 is less basic than 4. So if minus I of CN is more than that of OH, so 4 is more basic as compared to 3, right? Then the pKb of 4 will be what? pKb of 4 will be less than that of 3 guys. Therefore, the answer is option 1. You have to remember one thing guys. Basic character is inversely proportional to pKb. So the one which is most basic will have the least value of pKb. Okay, and the one which is least basic will have the maximum value of pKb. So this one is least basic. So third compound is least basic. That's why it has the highest value of pKb. Okay, so the answer is option 1. Let us move on to the next question. Okay, looks like a very lengthy question. Let's see. A solution of two components containing N1 moles of first component and N2 moles of the second component is prepared. Okay, M1 and M2 are the molecular weight of component 1 and 2 respectively. Okay, if D is the density of the solution in grams per ml, C2 is the molarity and X2 is the mole fraction of the second component, then C2 can be expressed as, okay, let us look at the options. So what we have to do is, we have to express the concentration in terms of what? In terms of mole fraction and density and molar masses. So how we will go about it? Let's see. First of all, let us mark all the important things which are there in the question. Okay, So what we have is N1 moles of the first component, N2 moles of the second component, molar masses are there. Then we have the density is D, okay, concentration and X2. So here what we will do is, see, it's just a sum where the values are not given, they have kept the symbols as it is, right? So we have to use those symbols and solve it. Let's see. So what we have, X2 will be equal to N2 upon N1 plus N2, right? And mass of the second component, mass of the second component, mass of the first component will be how much? Mass of the second component will be number of moles of the second component into the molar mass of the second component, mass of the first component into the molar mass of the first component. So we have mole fraction, okay. What would be the mass of solution? Mass of solution will be N1 M1 plus N2 M2. This is the mass of the solution. In terms of mole fraction, if I express number of moles of the first component, okay, so what will I have? So in terms of mole fraction, number of moles of the first component will be equal to N1 will be equal to N2 into 1 minus X2 upon X2. We substitute this over here, guys, okay. So let's see what do we get. Okay, so this is equal to N2 1 minus X2 divided by X2 into M1 plus N2 into M2. Okay, so this is the mass of the solution, guys. This is the mass of the solution. If I simplify this, so what will I get? So this will be 1 minus X2 into M1 plus X2 into M2. It's a very lengthy sum, guys. Right, so now what you can do is you can convert this mass into volume. Okay, how do we convert mass into volume? We take help of density. Okay, so volume of the solution will be how much? Okay, volume will be mass upon density, right? So this will be N2 1 minus X2 into M1 divided by density into X2, and will also divide by what? Will also divide by 1000. Okay, because we are converting the volume in what? We are converting the volume in liters. We are converting the volume in liters. Now what we can do is we can calculate the concentration. How do we go for it? Concentration of 2 will be equal to number of moles of 2 divided by what? Divided by the volume. So this is your volume, guys. You have to be a little patient about it, because one mistake here and there and your answer can go wrong, right? So what we can do is we can take N2 common. So N2 cancels. So as N2 cancels, what we have? We have D X2 into 1000 divided by M1 minus X2 M1 plus X2 M2, guys. Okay, so this is your concentration. Further, what you can do is you can take x2 common. You can take x2 common. So as we take x2 common, what do we get? So this is dx2 into 1000 divided by m1 plus x2, and this would be m2 minus m1. So very lengthy sum, I would say. Okay, but finally we have arrived at the equation. So let's see if this equation matches with the options which are given. Okay, so what are the options which are there with us? Yes, so it matches with what? It matches with option 2, guys. So this is our answer. Okay, just be a little patient while solving this sum. Any mistake you do will fetch you a wrong answer, guys. Okay, so let us look at the equation again. Okay, so this is our final equation and the answer is option 2, guys. Okay, let us move on to the next question. Okay, so from a very lengthy question, let us go to a factual question, guys. The incorrect statement is bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. So what you have to identify here is, we have to identify the incorrect statement. Bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. This is correct statement. Okay. Cast iron is used to manufacture wrought iron. Yes, that is also correct. Cast iron contains more amount of carbon, so you can convert it to wrought iron, which will have less amount of carbon. So statement 2 is also correct. German silver is an alloy of zinc, copper and nickel. Yes, guys, that is also a fact. German silver is an alloy of zinc, copper and nickel. Okay, so this is also correct. Brass is an alloy of copper and nickel. This is not correct, guys. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc, right? So the answer, the incorrect statement is option 4, guys. Very simple question. Okay, let us move on to the next question.